cool.
Welcome back, fun fam, and if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to Follow the Bradleys Fun. This is The Daily Dish with yours truly. That's me, Ron E. Bradley. I hope that wherever you are having a phenomenal day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching. Could be middle of the night, could be 3 a.m., could be 1 a.m. I guess 3 a.m. is closing time, right? So that that's what that is. Hey, yes, I hope that you are having a phenomenal day. Speaking of the day, as of the recording and live streaming of this right now, today is the 9th day of the month of June in the year 2025. That is June 9th, 2025, in the year of our Lord Anno Domini. I don't use the term common era because, I believe that there's a reason why we reckon our time the way we do. It's interesting. I'm doing history class with my son in homeschool, and we're learning right now about Alexander the Great conquering, the Persian Empire in the 330s. So was it up to the 320s BCE? And I was wondering, how on earth did they reckon their time and their years and their calendars and everything back then? And apparently, I guess the Greco-Roman calendar wasn't really by the year or something back then. I don't know. It's strange. If anybody knows in the chat and has better information on that, you can let me know. That'd be great. Speaking of the chat, I need to start saying hi to everybody. Thank you guys for being here on this early Monday morning. At least it is for me. It's a Monday morning. You guys are the reason I'm here. You get me out of bed. After this last weekend, you saw the title of the video. It's a little bit depressing. Please help me be less depressed and hit the like button. That helps a little bit. Get this thing out to as many people as are willing to come in here this morning, because obviously, it's funny because I stream over the culture, and and it's challenging being a newer YouTuber, and it's also weird because YouTube terms it's so different, right? That when you start a job, it's an established job. So you go in and you make the salary, you make the money. It's different. You start YouTube channel and you're not really established until you've been doing it like steadily for 5 years, right? So, and I'm 2 out of 5 on that journey so far, and I got a long way to go, and it's sometimes it's a challenge. You got to try to not compare yourself to other people. I'm involved with some of the greats like Pro and Culture and some of these others that I see the streams getting hundreds of views, and mine not as many. It's a challenge, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It is you got it. Keeping this together through the challenges of doing a YouTube channel is tough, but that is why I am grateful to every single one of you. You guys really don't know how much gratitude that I have for you, and the things that I want to be able to do for you on this channel. There's so much that I want to be able to do that I can't afford to do. I can't fund those things yet, but hopefully, as more and more people are coming in and watching, all of you that are in the chat right now that I know that will have been here from the earliest days are going to get so rewarded, because that's the kind of person I am. I'm I'm an extreme. When I have it to give, that's one of my downfalls in life. When I have it to give, I give like way too much, like way too much. It's just, and I definitely prefer to give rather than receive, which is also a challenge. I'm not good at receiving. I would much prefer to give. So thank you guys, every single one of you, for being here. Obviously you're the gigawatts that make me run. You're the cream in my coffee, the apple of my eye. That's what did Roger Rabbit always said. He's the apple in my eye and the cream in my coffee. You're the energon that makes this Autobot transform and roll out of bed to be here in the morning with you.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy. This stuff's the greatest.
So, with that being said, you're the jelly in my donut. That's right, Snortapoopa Bird, the jelly in my donut. Hey, I made some really good peanut butter cookies last night. We've had this little packet, this Betty Crocker packet, of peanut butter cookie mix on the top of my microwave for like, I don't know, a couple months. I keep seeing it sitting there. And last night I looked at it. I'm like, I was worried that it was going to be like all difficult to make these peanut butter cookies. And I look at the back of the package. It says needed ingredients, oil and water. I'm like, why haven't we made these things yet? So I put the oil in, put the water in, made some peanut butter cookies. They were a little crispy. I overbaked them by a minute, but they were still good. Well, let's say hi to everybody that is in the chat. Thank you so much for being here today. Even though the news that we have to talk about is not fun, not the most fun Disney news, we will make it the most fun that we can, because of course that's why you're here. You follow the Bradley's fun. And that's why we go to thatparkplace.com, because it is a place for all the news that should be fun. Oh, goodness gracious me. Let me see here. There's something that I am looking for, because I'm going to share it with you after I say hi. But it's something that I want to share because it's very, very important to what we're going to talk about in the stories today. Sorry, guys. I know I'm silent as I'm looking through some old photographs. I found what I wanted to find, I think. Well, let me see. What's that? Should be more. How are these pictures interwoven with Christmas Day itself? Sorry, I'm looking for some old pictures from like 2015, and they're like interwoven. Huh. Oh boy, let me see. December 26, 2015. Wow, is that a full-size Sebastian the Crab? I didn't know that was in the parks. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about when I show it to you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm fiddling around here. All right, let's say hi to everybody that's in the chat so far. Sorry about that. I need to look for something. I found it. I had to find the right date. All right, so first in the door this morning was Snorta Poopus Cuber. Thank you guys for your patience at keeping up with me, by the way, because I know a little late getting started today. That's okay. That's okay. Tell your friends and family about us too, because we're edging towards 14,000 subscribers, and I'd like to surpass that this month. We're almost at 13.9. Snortapoopus Cuber. Hello, humans and other critters. Follow the Bradley Fun. Hello, Dan's Life of the Kingdom says, good morning, Ron and chat. This stream will be a glorious 3-hour finale. You have a minute and a half. Oh, okay. Oh, we are going to miss those lines. I'm so glad I recorded it for you guys on Friday. I know Dan's Life of the Kingdom was there. Thanks, Dan, for being there with us. And then I know he was there on Saturday. I do not have a pass that gets me into Disney on the weekends, and that's why I was not there on Saturday for the very last day. I'm also not really big on the huge crowds that would have been there. I'm sure that I missed out on some fun things, but that's okay. Good morning from me. Avarice Carmageddon says aloha and good morning. Good morning, Avarice Carmageddon. Yes, it is. It's sad. Dismal Disney keeps destroying everything. By the way, do I sound okay? Yes, it is. It's sad. Oh, there it is. I'm good. I am good. Hey, all. Snortapoos and Tom, two of our mods coming into the chat. Dan's Life of the Kingdom is here. We said good morning to Dan. Good morning. Good morning. Equus Heart. Good to see you. Good morning, my dear. And Pam Empson is here. Hi, Ron and chat. Good day to you all. Good day across the pond, Pam. It's so hot and humid. I'm in Florida time in Hawaii. Too hot to sleep at night, but cooler during daylight hours. Are you in Hawaii right now? Andy W. She's got the dry heat going on in Reno. Although I don't know if that's that. It's probably cooler in Reno than it is, down in Vegas. Snortapoopus Cuber. Hello. Avarice says, I've been playing early 2000s Disney music. So magical back then from DCOM's movie and TV series for twins. Yeah, I am going to talk about something today that from the early 2000s. It's going to be an interesting deal. For all the old Disney soundtracks, songs on YouTube are released by UMG, even though it's owned by Walt Disney Records. Oh my gosh, it is Soul Monday. Today is Donald Duck's birthday? Why is Donald Duck's birthday in June? Linda F is here. Hello, Ron. Follow the Bradley's Fun and all in the chat. Hello. Burr. The Greeks dated things in a 4-year Olympiad, the first year of the 40th Olympiad, etc. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Based on more of their events. Or by the regnal date of some boss, like the second year of reign of Bonzo III. It's really interesting, and because the reason why I asked that is I'm wondering were there any civilizations that dated anything by what they felt was year zero, like the year of the start of time? Well, thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. I'm trying. I really need to go back to bed now. Yeah, I understand. Understand. The jelly and Madonna hit the like button. I want a cookie now, Ron. I've saved you a peanut butter cookie from last night. Actually, I think my wife ate it. Mr. Fulton Mraz coming in with some news. Morning, Ron. Got the biggest news today. I got second place. Yay! Cheers in the comments in the chat for Mr. Fulton Mraz in the 100-meter dash. Third place bronze medal in the 200-meter dash. Good job. Good job, Mr. Fulton Mraz. I feel like losing the Muppets is more tragic than Splash Mountain. I don't. They're fairly equivalent tragedies. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure just is so bad. It's so bad. It's and Tiana deserved better. So yeah. Yeah, Muppet Vision 3D. They could easily have just said we're going to move it. We're going to change the Muppet. Now that we're redoing the roller coaster over to Muppets Mayhem, we're just going to move the Muppet Courtyard to that back area. That kind of would make sense. I don't know. It's really weird. What's up? What is up, James? Linda F says congratulations. Armageddon says live in Hawaii. Dismal Disney is right. I am purposefully not paying attention to what's going on in Los Angeles. I don't even want to know, honestly, right now. Congratulations, Mr. Fulton Mraz. Bud Files are here. Good morning, Bud Files. Hello, James all day. There needs to be a Save Disney campaign to vote Bob Iger. Vote out Bob Iger, just like when, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that 100%. You're good. You're good. My mom is here. Everybody say hi, Mom. She's in the chat this morning. And I think we need it's a little bit of a dismal day. So I think that we should probably start with some type of a celebration. I've been ignoring the news for the past couple of days. Epic Universe is more entertaining. You are correct. You are absolutely right. But you know what? I want to get your day going better and my day going better. So let's get a celebration. You know what? I know this. I don't usually do this anymore, but we're going to just start with the long celebration. If you have emojis and you know what to do it in the chat with the celebration. Let's go long.
Is it too much? Too much? It's a perfect! Wahoo! Oh, this is beautiful! Give me a break, I couldn't be more excited. Okay, this anticipation, it's making me mental. But if they say yes, you can be on the show, I think I would go so crazy.
Is our long celebration. Now, if you're new to the channel, why do we do celebrations? We do celebrations because we like to celebrate all of you for being here, and especially on a Monday morning. If any time also during the show we start to meter the goal. The goal is 5 super chats. We do celebrations anytime there is super chat, super thanks, super stickers. There's PayPal, buy me a coffee support. There are the membership. If anybody becomes a member during the show or gives memberships during the show or has a member milestone chat, we're going to celebrate that. And of course, if anybody buys anything from the spread shop during the show and lets me know, we will celebrate that. What is our spread shop? That is our Follow the Bradley's Fun merchandise link. And Tom F, maybe you can share the link in the chat. We have I'm hearing some funny things out there. But yeah, so if anybody buys something and lets me know during the show, let me know. You have to let me know during the chat you bought it. It's we got 20% off right now on everything. So the Make Disney Walt Again merchandise, which is feeling less and less possible. Gosh, I was hoping that they'd preserve Rivers of America, and they've just chosen not to. That's just so sad. Make Disney Walt Again mugs. Be finding the Fedora finds. And I am working on getting videos released every night at 5:45 for Fedora Finds. Follow the Bradley's Fun family t-shirt, family logo, family avatar merch. All of that is there. And yes, indeed. So we have all of that is available too. So yes, indeed. I will celebrate you because it's celebrating really all of you. If anybody is kind enough to donate. If you don't have money, please don't do it. If you don't have the available fundage, don't do it. But if you have 99 cents available or up, yeah, we love that support. We appreciate that. And if we meet the goal today, my smile will get bigger. That's I can't promise you the live stream like I did on Friday. I did the live stream on Friday because we did in fact meet the goal, and I did the live stream from the Muppets, and my wife was live streaming from there as well. There's the link for the spread shop. Thank you, Tom F. Appreciate that for putting that in the chat. Yeah, what is up, Canadian Family Life? Hey, Tiffany, good to see you this morning. Canadian Family Life is here. Yes. You know, it's funny. I just realized that if somebody was a former Russian living in Canada, their channel could be called Putin's Poutine. Oh my goodness gracious me. All right. So the first story I'm going to get on the screen is not quite as related to the second story. The first story is a what's going on in the movies story. And let's hit the box office real quick. Just as an update. Let me see if I can find the weekend box office. Let's get the box office on the screen and check the weekend box office, shall we? There's the numbers. This is my favorite site. There's also Box Office Mojo. I used to use that one quite a bit. I use this one now. Let's see. Lilo and Stitch still leads the weekend. Lilo and Stitch with a current domestic gross of $335 million, almost $336 million. Still in 4,185 theaters last weekend. So I believe third weekend running for Lilo and Stitch. And Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is still at number 3. Karate Kid Legends number 4. Ballerina from the World of John Wick is number 2. Didn't quite make the number 1 spot, even though that was the newest thing out there. So Thunderbolts is still on the charts. Thunderbolts still 186. Thunderbolts has not made back its cost yet, as far as the domestic gross is concerned. Well, that's so sad. Let's look at Lilo and Stitch, the one good thing that Disney has going for it this year. So far, Lilo and Stitch comes in with a worldwide box office performance after this last weekend at $772.5 million. It looks to me, when I look at the tracking, if you see that kind of purpley gray area on this tracking chart, that is what the expecting tracking would have done. And this is just the domestic box office. Let me look at here's a summary. International box office. This is the domestic box office in US dollars. So there's a shaded gray area. The top of that shaded gray area comparative movies that started out about the same. It started out on a really good trajectory, but if you've noticed over time, I think word of mouth has got out that some people are not liking how this ended. Some people are saying that this ended without the Ohana means family, because Lilo and Stitch went to different places for a short period of time. They don't seem to understand that college typically is only 4 years, especially for somebody who got a full ride scholarship like Lilo did. She could be done in 2.5 to 3 years, honestly, if she does it right. I don't think the family was separated at all. Some people do. I totally disagree with that assumption. But yeah, we shall see. What do you think about Freakier Friday? Looks like a mix of Parent Trap and Freaky Friday 3. I have no thoughts on Freakier Friday because I didn't like the first one. Not a big fan of either one of those actresses, Jamie Lee Curtis or whatever the redhead girl's name is. Yeah, so this take on the Lilo and Stitch live action is, to me, Lindsay Lohan, that's right, sorry, is to me a ridiculous take. It doesn't make any sense. When you watch the movie, you realize that what happened was that you can have Ohana and also have responsibility at the same time. So the neighbor fosters Lilo and becomes new family, which is also Ohana. And Lilo and Nani get to stay together because she has technology that allows her to be with Lilo probably more than she would have been. Now think about if she would have stayed behind and taken care. So now she has to work all the time. She's probably also taking college courses to better her life. It would have been a mess. Instead, they made it not a mess, and they made it an option for Nani to better her life. She comes back. I don't know that you would want to adopt your little sister as your daughter, because that would be kind of a little bit strange, but they would still be family. She could still be in the care of her bigger sister. So Nani comes back. She's 22, 23. Lilo's 10 at that point in time. And they live together, and Nani has a really good job as a marine biologist, making $85,000 a year. Yay. Yeah. So I don't know. Weird stuff. Anyhow. So my point to this is my original prediction for the full run of Lilo and Stitch that I made on the WDW Pro show was one of the lower predictions. And mine was $1.15 billion, which would be 1,115 million or something like that. I think. In other words, I don't even know that it's going to make it to my prediction, though. I think some of the higher predictions were at this point in time, we're seeing those as being off. It might make it to $1 billion. There's a very good chance it won't. There's a very, very good chance that at this point in time, this movie does not make it to $1 billion, which is kind of scary, kind of sad. In other words, let me just put it this way. It's not looking any better for Disney, because while this movie is profitable, it's not making up for Disney's losses this year, and probably not by a long shot yet. So we're going to talk about another of Disney's potential upcoming losses right now, because I don't think that this next movie that we're going to talk about is going to make very much money, especially with all the news that's coming out about it. First, I'm going to get my energy. Yes, indeed. And we're going to get this up on the screen. This story is about the Fantastic Four. Anybody in the chat excited for Fantastic Four? Anybody in the chat today looking forward to the Fantastic Four? Or are you kind of like me? You realize that anything that is now in Disney's hands is not F4. Well, I think it's going to be doomsday for Fantastic Four. What's up, Erica? Good to see you. No. James says no, he's not excited for the Fantastic Four. I am definitely not excited for the Fantastic Four. Not with the news, not with Pedro. They lost me at Pedro Pascal. As soon as Pedro Pascal was cast as Reed Richards, I thought that I thought it was a joke. I literally thought it was a joke because I could not imagine, like, of all the people they had, they could have gone back to John Krasinski. I mean, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards? That's about as far from a Reed Richards correct casting as you could possibly get. Anyway, poor casting. And the thing is, we already know Pedro Pascal. So Pedro Pascal comes across only as Pedro Pascal, especially after his role in Wonder Woman. I mean, good Lord, Wonder Woman 84 was awful. I don't see how you can cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards with any hope whatsoever, but he's probably the only one that read the script and said, I'm playing second fiddle to Sue Storm. I love that idea. And that's what this is about. Grant Gustin, Mr. Fantastic, would have been great. It definitely would have been better than this. Personally, I'd cast myself, but that's a whole nother story. I had a whole different idea how the Fantastic Four could be properly introduced into the MCU after Endgame and actually would restart kind of the whole MCU again. But they have mucked it up so bad. They have mucked it up really, really, really bad. So, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Pedro. I did not vote for Pedro, if you understand the reference. You're a Napoleon Dynamite fan. Pedro Pascal. I can't even say the name right, and that's how bad it is. Pedro Pascal will be leading the Fantastic Four. Oh, no, that's not right. Pedro Pascal says he's not leading the Fantastic Four as Reed Richards. Apparently, he is playing second fiddle to Sue Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie by Marvel. It's going to be in the MCU. This is a very, very interesting story out of that Park Place. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Pedro, and this is probably one of the reasons why, not just the glow stick thing, not just his other antics, his weird clothing choices, but his attitude towards, well, everything that's not really normal. Let me get this on the screen for you guys just so you can see what I'm talking about. Out of thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it if you haven't done so yet. Yes, this is out of thatparkplace.com. Pedro Pascal says he loves being led by powerful women as Sue Storm takes the lead in Marvel's Fantastic Four. By Mr. Marvin Montanero. There he is. I don't know if we can do this, Mr. Pedro Pascal. Marvel's The Fantastic Four First Steps isn't just reimagining its team dynamics. It may also be a reflection of its lead actor's real-world mindset. Pedro Pascal, who plays Reed Richards in the upcoming MCU reboot, is no stranger to playing second banana to powerful women. He praised his co-star, Vanessa Kirby, in a recent Collider interview, with comments that have already sparked widespread discussion. Yes, indeed. I love being led in a way, Pascal said when asked about working opposite Kirby. What you may identify as generosity for me, it just isn't. I'm only inspired by, I guess, just powerful women have been the thing that has gotten me through being alive. So to have this opportunity to stand by one, to learn from one, just a partner, it's partnership, it's male and female. But it's also a kind of transcendent sort of partnership in the work and in the characters. And so I don't really know what the heck I'm going to do without you, Vanessa, honestly. That's, I don't know. Oh. Kirby herself responded in kind, calling Pascal the most supportive male actor she's worked with. I've never had a male actor as a counterpart who's been so utterly equal and supportive of the relationship, but also the female character opposite him, she said. I just feel so grateful every day to have an actor like Pedro who's so generous. Oh, yes, those nice, those kind words. But what do those kind words really say in the background? The conversation adds fuel to an already blazing fire surrounding Marvel's creative direction with first steps. Producer Grant Curtis recently stated that Sue Storm, not Reed Richards, is the true center of the Fantastic Four. If you do go back through the comics, you realize that Sue Storm is arguably the leader of the Fantastic Four. I said Fantastic Form. I meant Fantastic Four. Let me try that again. If you do go back through the comics, you realize that Sue Storm is arguably the leader of the Fantastic Four because without Sue Storm, everything falls apart, Curtis told Collider. Kirby herself emphasized that Sue won't be portrayed as a boss babe or a caricature, but rather with a genuine feminine soulfulness. Director Matt Shakman has also noted that Sue will be the head of the Future Foundation in the film. He described the pair's dynamic as an idealistic society, adding, if he is the most scientifically intelligent person, then she is the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet. For Pascal, this sort of character arrangement is far from new. Fans of The Mandalorian remember the shift in season 3 when the focus largely moved from Pascal's Din Djarin to Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan Kryze. Din not only relinquished the Darksaber to her, but outright pledged loyalty and servitude in a story pivot that some viewers found abrupt, to say the least. Likewise, in HBO's The Last of Us, Pascal's Joel is emotionally battered by nearly every major female character in the series, from Tess to Ellie to his therapist in the second season. In the second season, Pascal's Joel ultimately meets his end at the hands of Abby, a smaller framed woman who bludgeons him in front of Ellie in a brutal moment that remains one of the most polarizing in gaming history. While Pascal's deference to powerful women may align with his acting philosophy, it has raised questions among some fans about what this means for the traditionally authoritative role of Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four lore. Reed has long been depicted as the leader of the group. He's Mr. Fantastic. It's literally right there in the name. Reed's role is that of an aloof genius responsible for guiding the team. Shifting that role to Sue Storm goes beyond a simple narrative update. It's a deliberate reversal for the characters. It may also shed light on why another actor reportedly passed on the role. Adam Driver, who was once in talks to play Reed Richards, walked away from the project. While he never offered detailed reasons, it was reported that he couldn't emotionally connect with the script or the character. While unconfirmed, some now speculate that Marvel's approach to Reed as a passive or secondary figure may have clashed with Driver's interpretation of the role. This reportedly isn't the first time Marvel has faced resistance from a leading man over creative direction. Oscar winner Mahershala Ali is heavily rumored to have voiced frustration over early drafts of the now apparently dead Blade film, which were said to minimize the character's presence in favor of a younger female protagonist, Blade's daughter. According to industry insiders, the scripts read more like a passing of the torch movie rather than a Blade-led story, leading to delays and extensive rewrites. The backlash eventually prompted Marvel to overhaul the film's direction, but not before the project hit multiple development snags. Oh, look, there's Pedro dancing away with his rainbow glow stick in hand. Yikes. Pedro Pascal, on the other hand, appears fully aligned with his vision of being led by powerful women, both professionally and personally. Marvel's The Fantastic Four First Steps stars Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm. The film is slated to launch the MCU's take on the Marvel's first family in 2025, and it may do so with a brand new definition of who is in charge. And I would love to know who is really in charge over at Marvel or Disney, or it doesn't seem like anybody's taking charge over there these days. But what do you think? Let us know. What are your feelings on the Fantastic Four, on Pedro Pascal? Do you like the new vision? Maybe you love the idea of a female-led Fantastic Four. Love to know your comments. down below is where you can put that. Yes, let us know down below in the comments before you go out the door. Thank you for coming in today and checking us out. Let's see. Our avarice Carmageddon says he's like Zendaya, put in everything and becomes annoying. I guess for me, it's a little bit different with Zendaya because I don't actually. There's only 3 things that I've seen Zendaya in myself. That is Spider-Man, Greatest Showman, and Dune. And I haven't seen Dune 2 because Dune 1 was boring as heck. Are you guys Dune fans? Let me know in the chat if you're Dune fans. I'm not a Dune fan. I haven't watched Zendaya and any of the other stuff. Some of it seems, when I see the titles or see what it's about, it seems like it's not stuff that's particularly appropriate to watch. And, we have to be careful, as I'm drinking water, right? That we have to be careful what we put into our bodies, but we have to be just as careful what we put into our minds, because that is a mental and emotional diet and it changes everything. So always be careful about that. And that is why I am here, to help give you things that are hopefully that clip of Pedro Pascal. It's time for the summer sizzle. Yes, I have that clip. I don't play it a lot here. I don't have it here actually, but sometimes I put it in my videos. It might go. I'm guessing that this is the way you feel every time that clip is played. Let me know if this is the way you feel.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Is that the way you feel about that clip when it's played? I am feeling so it's the Muppet thing has really got me down, and I'm trying to stay up. And even though I don't see any supers or memberships or anything like that in the chat right now, I don't care. I need to stay up, and so for that I am playing Wookiee Dance Celebration. I love you guys. Let's have some fun, please. If you are a member of the channel and you have member emojis, get those ready and put those in the chat, just so that it makes everybody watching feel better. And also, if you're not a member, fireworks or any other fun emojis will do as well. So put those in the chat as we play our celebration. Let's celebrate, everybody. It's my dance. I don't know where I got this move from, but I like doing it. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Yes, it's time for the summer sizzle. Something like a cherry popsicle. I don't know what the song is, but it's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Guys, I got to cover this last story, and then we're going to move you over to Culture Casino. June 7th, 2025. That will go down as a day in history in infamy, as the day Disney erased Jim Henson's legacy at the Disney's Hollywood Studios Park in Walt Disney World. Yes, the closing date to the public and the last showing to the public of Muppet Vision 3D, and the last day for Muppet's Courtyard to be open. Absolutely, it's a very sad day. It is. I will say this: Universal took advantage of that day. Yes, they did. I got to put this on the screen because you know what? At this point in time, I'm so much more about Universal than I am about Disney, just because of the decisions that have been made over the last decade. This is what Universal had to say on the last day that Muppets was open. On their X account, Universal Orlando Resorts posted, "A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Universal." Oh, when Universal throws shade at Disney, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let's see what the comments are. Disney about to. No, Disney can't sue for that. Neon says, "Buy the Muppets, please. They're in an abusive household and need help." That's funny. Lorena, our good friend Lorena Creel says, "I see what you did there. Jay Drunk 3PO. Shade." Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, it was definitely fun. At least Universal was having fun with it, and they did what they could. Now, when it comes to bad decisions on the part of Disney, I really wish that, and I really think that we probably could have seen this coming. And I say that because of something that goes all the way back to me personally, to the year 2015, to December of 2015. I was still a pixie duster type of person in the mid 2000s. I worked for Disney at the time. I liked working for Disney at the time. My relationship with them was good. And I didn't realize that this particular decision in the parks was going to lead to so much destruction. It's the decision that they made, and I should have seen it coming. We kind of all said at the time, well, this is going to lead to bigger and better things. It had to do with the closing of the backlot tour, the closing of Lights Motors Action, which would eventually happen. But the closing of this particular, not even really attraction, but more of an event, is, I would say, for me, where I could really see the beginning of the downfall. And that was something that you might remember. Let's see if I can get a picture on the screen that represents it properly. All right, let me put this up on the screen for you so you can see it. Remember this, guys? This is part of the Osborne family of lights, the Osborne family Christmas lights. This was one of the last times, if not the last time, that I got to see it. This was December 26th, the day after Christmas in the year 2015. Osborne family lights. And let me see if I can find some more other pictures. All right, here is a picture of my entire family there. Put that on the screen for you. There we are in front of the Osborne family lights. It says Peace on Earth. It says Merry Christmas. At the time, yes, they were very much celebrating Christmas. I don't know how some of the pictures, and the reason I'm not showing them is because they're kind of oddly in a strange order, but this is also a part of it that I definitely want to show. Let me show you what else used to be displayed at Hollywood Studios during the Osborne family lights. The Nativity. Yes. So, and this is one of the reasons I want to mention it going away. When the Osborne family lights went away, the Nativity went away. And when the Nativity went away, that was, I think, the last bastion of hope for the parks. Of course, they still do candlelight, but they say things in the script for candlelight At least I don't know that everybody says the exact same thing, but there's something that comes at the end of that really, really bothers me. I have heard some of the celebrities say that Jesus was just a man, and I really, really don't like that. But yeah, when they got rid of this, we should have known what was coming next. So yeah, I don't just miss the lights. I miss the entire Christmas spirit that the lights represented. It was when you lose the Christmas spirit, not just at Christmas time, but you lose it for all year round. The spirit of families, the spirit of things that Walt Disney loved. There's a lot of that. And when you lose all that, you're going in a direction that is, of course, the opposite. All of that represents light. So what happens when you go in the opposite direction? Well, without the light, there is dark. And that seems like the direction that they've chosen to go these days. So let me see if I can present this. So yes, with the light going away, it seems like at the Muppet Vision 3D theater, the lights have gone out for the last time, at least to the general public. We're going to get the story on the screen. This is, of course, out of thatparkplace.com. Please do bookmark it if you haven't bookmarked it yet. And this is by our beloved Mr. Marvin Montanaro. Muppet Vision 3D closing day sees fan passion and genuine love for Jim Henson as Disney shutters beloved attraction forever. And yeah, it's true. They already have the construction walls up or the blockades up around the Muppet courtyard. So it's all gone now, guys. If you wanted to see it, you're too late if you didn't get a chance. Or you can just, check out my live stream that I did on Friday, because that's there too. Yes, got to take my family out to it. Our son had never actually seen it before. We didn't even realize that. Or if he had, he was too little to remember it. There it is, Muppet Vision 3D. Wow. Saying goodbye, why is it sad? Makes us remember the good times we had. Much more to say, foolish to try. It's time for saying goodbye. This line, sung by the late Richard Hunt in Muppets Take Manhattan, accurately depicts the mood of hundreds of fans who flocked to Disney's Hollywood Studios for the closing day of Muppet Vision 3D, the final work of legendary Muppet creator Jim Henson. It was a showing of genuine love and heartfelt passion in the face of Disney's cold corporate decision to shutter the classic attraction forever in favor of a Monsters, Inc. themed land. On June 7th, 2025, Muppet Vision 3D played its final performance at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And while Disney executives may be moving on, the fans certainly haven't. In a genuine display of love and support, hundreds of guests packed the extended queues and overflow areas to show their love for the final work of a great man. The show, originally created by Jim Henson himself and one of the last projects he ever worked on, has long stood as a comedic tribute to the beloved Muppets, a perfect encapsulation of the heart, creativity, and magic that defined not only the Muppets, but Henson's life itself. And there she is, standing in all her glory, Miss Piggy as the Statue of Liberty in the fountain just outside of the Muppet Theater. On its closing day, Muppet Vision 3D became a symbol of something else, a growing divide between Disney's decision makers and the people who actually attend the parks. Fans show up while Disney checks out. Lines wrapped far outside the theater entrance. Some guests waited multiple hours just to squeeze in one last viewing. Every show was filled with cheers, laughter, applause, and even tears. This wasn't just another day at the park. It was a farewell to one of the few remaining vestiges of Disney's creative golden age. Look at the line. People lined up the queue going all the way through the entrance to Galaxy's Edge. Guests weren't just lining up for the show. The Muppet Vision 3D pressed penny machines, recently relocated to Grand Avenue, were also swarmed by fans hoping to grab a cheap but meaningful piece of the experience before it disappeared. PhotoPass photographers were stationed in front of the Miss Piggy fountain for final goodbye pictures. Even the pizza got pulled early. This is part of the story I think is kind of ridiculous and tragic. June 7th also marked the final day for Pizza Rizzo, the Muppet-themed quick-service restaurant that sits just steps from the theater. But instead of staying open into the evening to feed the unusually large crowds, Disney shut the restaurant's doors at 5 p.m. before the dinner rush even began. Oh, yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous. There's a post by Laughing Place out of X that says, with about a half an hour to go, the Muppet Vision 3D line is only just into the tunnel to Batu. Posted 45-minute wait. And then you have the doors to Pizza Rizzo closed forever. Guests hoping for one last slice with Rizzo were left with nothing but locked doors, and another example of how hastily and coldly this change was handled. The animation courtyard problem. If you're wondering what's replacing Muppet Vision 3D, it's a Monsters, Inc. themed coaster rumored to be a thrill ride aimed at young families. And while that might sound appealing on paper, the way this shift is happening says more about Disney's priorities than their marketing will admit. There's a picture of the reintroduced voyage of the Little Mermaid. The real kicker, the voyage of the Little Mermaid, a stage show that hasn't been relevant since the Bush administration. The first one recently reopened in the animation courtyard. Yes, that's right. Disney is removing a fan favorite Muppet experience and bringing back a show that hasn't moved the needle since before Y2K. As a matter of fact, that show was shuttered for 6 years. So a little bit weird there. The same courtyard still houses Star Wars Launch Bay, a hollow shell with no purpose now the Galaxy's Edge exists, and the former home of Disney Junior live on stage, which now gets trotted out for occasional toddler dance parties. Meanwhile, Muppet Vision 3D, still pulling crowds with historical significance, is shuttered. Park hoppin' captures the crowd. Our friends at Park Hoppin' were on site to document the entire day live, and their footage captured a sight that speaks volumes. Yes, you can see Park Hoppin's video live on YouTube. The Muppet Vision 3D queue stretched so far back and reached all the way in the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, winding through the overflow area typically used for the Rise of the Resistance. It's a moment that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Meanwhile, LaughingPlace.com reported the show's wait times exceeded those of Rise of the Resistance, a staggering reversal that underscores how many guests showed up to honor a classic being quietly erased. Look at that. Look at that post out of X Laughing Place. The line keeps getting longer. Wristbands for the final guest show were handed out first thing this morning. Look at that. Perhaps the only time this has ever happened, Muppet Vision 3D currently has a longer line than Rise of the Resistance. It was the first and only time Muppet Vision 3D outdrew the park's marquee attraction, a legacy discarded. Muppet Vision 3D wasn't just a 4D show with a few gags. It was a tribute to Jim Henson, a piece of history, and one of the few attractions left that felt like it was made with heart, not algorithms. It deserved better. The fans knew it. The crowds proved it, but Disney clearly didn't care. They reopened the wrong show, they preserved the wrong buildings, and they gave up on something people still wanted. The Muppets, may be gone from this corner of the park, but based on what we saw on June 7th, they are far from forgotten. Disney will, of course, be doing a Muppet overlay of Rocket Roller Coaster in 2026, but it won't be the same. Muppet Vision 3D had Jim Henson, Jerry Nelson, and Richard Hunt, all of whom have since passed away. It also featured Henson's chosen Kermit successor, Steve Whitmire, and Jim's good friend and right-hand man, Frank Oz, both of whom have been ousted from the Muppets by Disney for pushing back against creative decisions. And as they said in the Muppets Take Manhattan, quote, somehow I know we'll meet again. Not sure quite where, and I don't know just when. You're in my heart. So until then, it's time for saying goodbye. Yes, we have to say goodbye to Muppet Vision 3D. And while we've said it for the last time, well, the last historic showing will not be to the public. They're keeping that behind closed doors so that only cast members are allowed to see that one. And it'll probably be taped for Disney Plus. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're shuttering this and probably just moving what's left of it to Disney Plus. That's if we're lucky, by the way. They might just quietly forget that it ever existed. I don't know. I don't know why they can't possibly move it into the theater that currently is housing the villain show. That show seems right now like it's just filler. Would love to know your thoughts on all of this. Are you a fan of the Muppets? Did you feel when you went to Muppet Vision 3D like I did, like you actually got to be in the audience of the Muppet Show that used to air back in the late 1970s and early 1980s? That's what I loved about it. It brought back my childhood every time I went. But I need to know your thoughts. You're the important part of this. Comment down below. Yes, what are your thoughts on Muppet Vision closing forever? Would you rather have seen a different change? What would your ideas be to preserve Muppet Vision 3D? Let us know in the comments. Yes, let us know down below before you go out the door. Thank you for coming in and checking this one out today as we say goodbye once and for all to Muppet Vision 3D. Oh my goodness, yes. Putting it on Disney Plus would not be the same at all. Guys, I want to say thank you everybody for coming in today. It looks like we might have ran a little bit long. I'm sure Culture is up and running. Let's get right over to him. Thank you so much for coming in, and until next time, we will, in fact, see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao. Thank you.